buying this building, into developing this concept so black people can have somewhere nice to go to, okay? Somewhere where we can feel good about ourselves as a, because one, stop the music, please. Somewhere where our people can feel good about ourselves as a culture, okay? Yeah. No, real talk. And so all this twerking and shit, take it to Prime, take it to Pink, don't bring it here because we're a restaurant. And so beyond that, 75% of my customers are ladies. And I want men to show respect for themselves for how they carry themselves here. So how can I tell the men to respect themselves and you guys are twerking on glass here? If you want to do it, get the fuck out of my restaurant. Because I did it for our people and I did it for our culture. So don't do it now. Don't do it again. I don't want to hear it. If you don't like it, get out because I don't need your money. I need to provide something for my people. And don't do it again. Thank you.
Well. Ladies and gentlemen, needless to say, it's going to get real. But before we get into all of that, man, I'm Derek, the thought engineer, with my man, comedian John Yogi. How you doing today, man?
What it do, sir?
It's good, man. It's good, man. We got a hot one for them tonight. But, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to prolong the time. This is Man Talk Monday. It's an open forum where we discuss everything from religion to politics to relationships and even current events. But we do it from a man's perspective. Now, keep in mind, this is not just for men. We want everybody to join in and participate, men, women, boys, girls. You can participate by simply jumping in the comments, right? Leave your question, leave your comment. We can see those. We want you to participate. This is how you join in the conversation. But by all means, please join into the conversation, right? We want to hear from you. But ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, Man Talk Monday News.
Today on Man Talk Monday News, we have a special celebrity guest in the house. Rick James' cousin's brother's friend on his daddy's side. Y'all ready? This is the original piece. Da, 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 da. Have a very Merry Christmas, because you can't go to your mother, and you better have a mask on before I catch you in the ow, girl. Have a very Merry Christmas, baby. Good evening and good night.
Developing this concept so black people can have somewhere nice to go to, okay? Somewhere where we can feel good about ourselves as a, because one, stop the music, please. Somewhere where our people can feel good about ourselves as a culture, okay? Yeah. No, real talk. And so all this twerking and shit, take it to Prime, take it to Pink, don't bring it here because we're a restaurant. And so beyond that, 75% of my customers are ladies. And I want men to show respect for themselves for how they carry themselves here. So how can I tell the men to respect themselves and you guys are twerking on glass here? If you want to do it, get the fuck out of my restaurant. Because I did it for our people and I did it for our culture. So don't do it now. Don't do it again. I don't want to hear it. If you don't like it, get out because I don't need your money. I need to provide something for my people. And don't do it again. Thank you.
Did you hear the mouth on that young man?
hey, and he meant that. And he meant that when he had said what he said.
This time, put some stank on it. No. Ladies and gentlemen, you've seen the video. I know you've heard about it or you read about it. It's all over social media. TMZ picked it up. Ricky Smiley Show picked it up. It's controversial clip that you just saw of the restaurant owner from Dallas's True Kitchen and Cocktails. There was an incident that happened. You saw his response to the incident, and it has gone viral. But we want to talk about it today. But we got a question for you, right? Our question tonight: are your dollars working for you or twerking for you? Right? Are our black dollars working for us or twerking for us? Right? So we wanted to bring on some businessmen, some black businessmen, to discuss this with us. So joining us tonight, we got Mr. Nathan Ferguson, and we have Mr. Kevin Lewis. How y'all doing tonight, man?
Great. Thank you for having me.
Well,
I'm doing pretty good. Just happy to be here, fellas.
Glad to have you, man. Glad to have you. Well, I know y'all saw the video. I know everybody knows what went on. Well, it was just a rundown for anybody who might have been under a rock all these past.
Living in a cave or something.
Right. So the owner of Dallas's True Kitchen and Cocktails had an incident. They were playing music in the restaurant, had a DJ, but there were women in there that were twerking, right? And now there were other videos where he walked up to him and it looked like he was pleading with them to, hey, let's, refrain from this and everything. But I guess they didn't stop. So the video picks up where he goes on this rant about his displeasure with the continual twerking in his restaurant. And he expressed himself quite clearly that it was not something he was pleased with. What
Well, I think the problem immediately when I saw the video, they wasn't twerking mildly. They were getting it in, sir.
Getting
like
it
in. They was getting it in. They was serious doing. You know how you got that little bead of sweat come down when you do it? They was getting it in. They was getting it in. Yes.
All right. So we see his reaction. You see how he handled the situation. So I wanna ask the two businessmen on here. How would you have handled that situation? Kevin, how would you have handled that situation?
I think if I had to handle the situation, first of all, I think that he should have had a security guard or someone there to be there, so people aren't associating that act with the owner. And so if I didn't have that buffer there, I guess obviously he didn't have a buffer there, I use profanity, because to me it's kind of like an oxymoron to say I'm doing this for you. That's kind of like saying telling your wife, I beat you because I love you.
Oh wow.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because he's saying, I'm speaking to you this way because I'm trying to do this for you. And to me, that just didn't add up to me.
I get you. What you think about Nathan?
Yeah, I would have definitely, after obviously talking to him first time, and then obviously going to repeating it after the second or third time. At that point, I think, like Kevin said, I would probably have some kind of security with me, ask them to politely leave, and then obviously make a determination whether the comp they mail or not. But you got to have some kind of standard or protocol in place because things like this do happen. You're going to have some kind of conflict, so you got to prepare for it.
So right now we want to know what the viewers think. Everybody watching want to know what you guys think about it and how you guys think y'all would have handled it. Me personally, I would have, you ask somebody, it's funny because when it comes to business, I have a very low tolerance for foolishness when we're trying to do business. And it's funny, most people are fun in games, but when it's about business, man, we're a little different. I think the problem with most of us, man, we won't go into a white establishment and do that because we don't feel like they're not us. But we'll do that to each other, thinking that we helping or we trying to make up that place live, and we don't need your help. Mm-hmm. We don't need your help. Mm-hmm. They twerk at the strip club and we throw dollars at them. So if you just up twerking and you the only one that's doing it, especially if you're on the table. Now this is the thing, man. I almost can deal with you twerking. You know, a good twerking never hurt nobody. But when you stand on, but when you get on my tables and you standing in my chairs like people, y'all, we do too much. We do too much, man. We do too much.
For the brand. Real quick before we go into it, I want to.
Well, you know what?
Real quick, just let the people know, like I said, we got two business owners. What is the nature of your business? So we just kind of let people know real quick. Kevin.
Well, we own a restaurant and lounge in Arlington, and so we face situations like that probably once a week, where we people doing a whole lot of extra stuff. Because here's the thing: people don't take into consideration that you actually plan for these. So if you have a DJ, you're trying to set some type of mood, right? And the thing is, I heard Ricky Smiley say this. He said, well, they're playing twerk music. And I don't really agree with that, because I'm thinking that just because a woman dressed sexy doesn't mean that she wants you to approach her any kind of way. So, because to me, there's a time and place for everything. And I don't believe that twerking, if I'm at IHOP eating breakfast, I'm not expecting to see somebody twerking because they got music on that can make me want to twerk. That's just me. But I do know that people very often do a whole lot of extra, because as an owner's perspective, you're thinking about safety first. Had she fallen, had she hurt herself, then you're being sued. Where everybody else everybody else sees this perspective, and you look at it as, hold on, man, I'm trying to make sure that everybody's good here.
Right.
That's what I think.
Jay Johnson said he acted more like a parent than a businessman. Wow. I agree with you. He definitely cussing them kids out. Real quick, Nate, what? Let people know what type of business you have. Real quick.
Yeah, I'm the owner of a CPA firm located in the Plano area. So of course we do all kind of accounting services, from bookkeeping, taxes, to auditing services. So that's what my firm does here in this area.
Okay. All right. So now, one thing, Kevin brought up a good point. He spoke to the liability issue that could have come about if somebody had injured themselves, right? But why wouldn't he take that approach? Or do you think he took that approach and they just didn't listen?
Why would he have to, though, D? Why would he have to? Why I got to tell you, don't play up there because you might hurt yourself. She ain't 7. She ain't 8 years old. Why I got to tell you that? Sit down somewhere before I cuss you out. and then when you get cussed out, now you're like, oh.
But you know what, though?
Yeah.
Go ahead, Kevin.
But I will say this, though. We had a young lady. We had to stand up in one of our bar seats, and she was tipsy, and she actually stood up in the booth and started dancing. She was there for a hot second because we had someone on the floor that had that. So basically, it was like, hey, we don't do that here. And to me, when you have all the money that's poured into these places, you want to run the way you want to run. If this business fails, I don't want it to be because you and your kind run into the business. If it failed, I want it to be because I did something that didn't work.
So what's the profanity necessary to get his point across? What you think, Nate? What's the profanity necessary though?
No, I think there's a time and place for everything, and definitely words have meaning and action. You want to be professional on getting your point across. Me personally, I think he should address the individual instead of addressing the crowd. It wasn't the crowd that actually had the behavior issue, it was actually that individual. So I think going to that individual, talking to that individual, or talking to that party if it was a group of folks, and then of course after the second attempt, if obviously the behavior is not in compliance with whatever code or standard that the restaurant is operating, then obviously they would have to obviously leave. So, but to answer your question, I don't think the profanity is necessary.
What you got, John?
Okay, I got a question too, John, when you're done.
Okay, so to my understanding, it was about 3 tables of a group that was together. Now, you can attempt to say it to her, but why even waste your time with that? Because then when you pull off, it's he say, she say, so her, this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna do this for you, and I'm gonna do it for everybody else. Hey, this is what's going on right here. And if you don't like this, you can bounce. Because this wasn't the first time, this wasn't even the second time. That man was talking out of frustration, like this is something that's been going on for a while. And I'm sure I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt that he tried to handle this in a mature, responsible way. And we laugh, he treated them like kids. He should have went outside and got a switch and put that switch on. Because you acting like a kid. You acting like a kid, though. You acting like a kid. Why I got to do that? Why I got to do that?
All right. So Cheryl says, I think there's a certain atmosphere that he wanted in his restaurant. Okay. So if there's a certain atmosphere that he wanted in his restaurant, why didn't he plan for that atmosphere? Right. Did he get what he deserved?
Well, I think if you're playing twerk music, you want something to happen.
Yeah.
If I'm playing WAP or WAP, whatever it's called, I'm playing it for a reason.
Yeah, my thing is
right.
I mean, and you're right. You're absolutely right. Because once you start doing that, you noticed way before then that you were getting things that you didn't want. You noticed you were getting activity that you didn't want. And my thing is, if you're gonna do that, you might well tell the brothers to bring the dollars out so we can have it pop it. We have it pop it up in there. You ain't doing that, so you need to stop them. Especially you know, this is the thing, man. We say we want something for our people. That's our first mistake. That's the first mistake we make. Is you want to have something for people. For people. Because look, money green. Black people will make you popular. White people will make you rich.
Oh, wow. Monique says we have to respect others and the business space. So what could he have done? How could he have avoided this situation? What could he have done? Talk to me. How could he avoid this?
I'm gonna ask. We're gonna let.
Can I just say something to echo what John just said? But just real quick to echo what John. As a black business owner, black people see you and they automatically want to associate. Oh, this is black. This is black owned, and for some reason, it's almost like they don't look at you in that same light as they look at their business owners or one of the white business owners, because then it's almost like, oh, okay, you black, we can behave this way, we can behave this way or that way, and for some reason, like John just said, money is green, but for some reason in our community, we want everything to be black. Because people came and say, oh, well, what are these Hispanic people doing here? Well, we thought this was a black-owned place. We're like, understand? I mean, it's a business. I mean, like you can bring your Mexican friend, white friend, green friends, just bring the money.
Yeah, he said just bring the money.
And so my point, just bring the money. End of the day.
So Samantha said maybe he should have discussed the music choice with the DJ beforehand.
I don't know. Nate, you want to comment on this? You got something? Because I got something.
I know Nate understands controls. So I want what controls should he have put in place?
Right. Yeah. Definitely, you want to. I would think of some kind of poly procedure. Because these events like this is going to happen. No matter if you have controls in place, I think you just can't help it when you got music, you got food, you got liquor, things of that sort. Something bound to probably happen like this. So it's just how you react to it and have a plan in place in order to do it and do it, professionally, be able to, not put a big of a spotlight on the situation, because who's to say it's not going to happen again, just because the DJ and the music, and I get that he's, of course, creating the atmosphere of the tone and trying to set a standard there, but just be able to, I think, have some kind of plan in place if it does happen again to be able to address it maybe a little bit differently. So,
Okay, let me just address. All right. Question: are black people just bad customers?
Not all of us.
Mhm.
I can't. I'm not going to put that on all black people. But I'm gonna say this: his particular spot had a certain reputation for a certain type of people that were going. As much as everybody was trying to get in, there was a certain reputation going around for, hey, he played this type of music, so he must want us, because this is the same type of music they play at the clubs. So he must want us in there. So they go and tell all their friends, and now all them in there. And he like, whoa, 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 whoa. I don't want y'all. I want this other certain type of group that listens to jazz. And listen, this is the thing, man. This is the crazy thing about it. I like listening to a lot of different types of music. But when I'm at a restaurant, unless if I'm at an upscale restaurant like he was trying to make his, you can't. Man, it's a thin line with what music that you can play that's gonna make that something else. It's a thin line of music you can play, and you can't play it that loud. You gotta almost play it soft where people can hear it, but it can't be the overwhelming factor, or people gonna want to get up and dance.
Yeah, I don't think race is the big issue, because let's say if it was a different race that was up there twerking, it could have went totally different spin on the issue too about twerking and things of that sort. So I just think it's like you said, it's a behavior issue, and you got to address it for what it is. Whether it be black, white, or whatever, race or ethnicity, just trying to that happen. So.
Now, you bring up an interesting point, because white women have been known to twerk occasionally. You think it would have happened different had it been white women twerk?
Again, I think that's why I said I think you definitely need some kind of policy procedure in place. If it was a white woman, if it was a black woman, or whoever it was, it should be the same standard across the board that that can't be tolerated. So that could have went totally different. If it would have been a white woman up there twerking. So.
John, what's up, man? What's up?
Well, when white women twerk, they ain't gonna be blocking the aisles. They don't have enough to block the aisles. Sister twerking, she got the aisles blocked up. You trying to see around her and not get on. When we in it, we're in another place and we in it. Now, not they can't do it, but they don't have as much to worry about as we do.
Now, let me say, since this has happened, there's been a lot of stuff put out. It seems like people are really trying to tear this man down. So, are we our own worst enemy in business? And it's black people that's coming for him.
Right.
I watch social media. I mean, people making videos about all this is discussing, and you see the comments. It's all black people commenting, oh, he need to be shut down, all this type of stuff. Are we our own worst enemy? All right. Cheryl says, I have a great diversity of customers. I have more non-blacks than black. They are all great customers. I think it's what you present. Presentation is everything. She's right. Kind of going back to what we were saying about the atmosphere that you kind of set the expectation with the atmosphere. But I'm just, do we tear each other down too much when it comes to business, though?
Kevin, what you got?
Well, I was just thinking that one, I 100% agree with the atmosphere, because you can't be playing this type of music, but you don't want to attract this type of people like John spoke on earlier. Because while you planning your whole week out, you playing whatever, you are trying to attract a certain demographic of people. And the thing is, once you start playing that shake joint music, you're gonna get shake joint type of people. And so, like, once you start getting those people, you can't start then going in on them, because this is what you've been catering to. Because if you want the jazzy, create a jazzy type of atmosphere.
Anthony say, I feel like going to twerk at Chili.
Okay,
I'd like to see you try that, sir. Okay, Danny says, management sets the tone for the
no doubt.
If you're playing twerking music, that's what you get, right? So management sets the tone.
That's what you get.
the responsibility, everybody's saying the responsibility really is on him. Are we agreeing?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So Selena says it comes down to being proactive with the planning and execution of an establishment. Had an extensive research and development and think tank style conversation and marketing strategies had been had prior to opening. They would have identified the clientele that they wished to draw and create the environment that spoke to that. His actions were reactionary. Reactionary responses will always lead to unfavorable circumstances. Wow. So he put himself in that situation. Do we agree?
Yeah, I agree, but are we gonna give him grace to change his mind? I think he got something that he
didn't really want your grace. He said, I want your grace or your money.
He said, I don't want your dollars if you're coming like that.
Well, no, he said that if you weren't gonna stop twerking, that's when he said that. Mm-hmm. Now, because he was talking to the people that wasn't gonna stop. Now, I think that he was trying at that point to tell the people, hey, listen, it's gonna be two types of people here, and I don't want one of them here. So I think you guys are more than welcome to stay and keep coming back, because it felt like he wanted another type of crowd in there.
I don't know about you, but personally, I kind of, because I think there's a group of people out there who are not responding, who appreciate. They don't agree with the profanity loud, and that's not us. Because but I hate more than anything. I hate when we see a white person using slang, talking crazy, with goals in their mouth. That's acting black. I hate that. I think, but have we limited ourselves to this?
So you tried it. So now we got a monopoly on acting black. You mean tell me I better not catch you with the gold teeth and acting the fool, because that's us now. It's got to be up. We should be trying to take that, really. You know, I mean, really, we should be. You know, man. I think the problem is when each business or most business owners have an idea of what they want. They have an idea, but I'm not really sure they know what they want until they get in it. And most of the time, when that bus starts heading in the other direction, you can't run up to the front and say, turn around, we're going the wrong way. You got to hit a couple more stops before that bus turns around to come back.
You bring up a good point. I want to pose this question to both of these businessmen. Did you know what you wanted before you got in? And then once you got in, the things change?
Yeah, I definitely knew what I wanted when I got in. I kind of had a vision and went for it. But as I went through the process, you know, as you learn things and things happen, you adjust to make the tweaks. But just like the True Kitchen there, I'm pretty sure he's making tweaks to his process, the way he does his procedures and things of that sort. So, you know, it's definitely a learning lesson, you know, and I imagine other restaurant owners too are probably looking at that situation and actually making plans to adjust to it too as well. So I think, like you say, it just boils down to planning, and just, you know, you only can predict so much, and obviously you adjust your strategies, but definitely it's a learning lesson. So
go ahead, Kevin. What you got?
I think you go into it. Go ahead, Jim. I think you go into it with a plan, but I think as you start to grow and start to have people come in, things start to change. But one thing that I did not expect was, you know, like someone asked this question earlier, why is it that we have to tell people how to act when they come to our businesses? Because if I have a spot where I'm playing jazzy music or whatever, why gotta have but don't do this, don't do that, don't do whatever? Because I don't see that stuff in other places that I go to.
So is it with black people? I don't need to leave any room for assumption. I gotta say everything outright.
Well, I'm curious, man. What do black consumers expect? Who do they expect? Go ahead. That's great.
So Ms. Trish says the owners of the restaurant set themselves up for this incident. All of the marketing pictures on the website feature primarily women in their best club attire. Not many pictures of professional attire or men who are not wearing shiny shoes, watches, or blinged out necklaces. So she said he got what he marketed to this and didn't. This is not what he wanted. So go ahead.
So I'm curious then, are we going to allow him to change his mind? Okay, he made a mistake. Okay,
yeah,
all right. He made a mistake and he cut somebody out. Okay. But
do we give white businesses more grace than we give black business? All right. So then it says he bought it on. He brought it on. I agree with having grace. Trust he had a learning experience. Things will be different. But are we going to allow him? Are we going to say, all right, brother, we understand you messed up, but we're going to still support? Is that what we're going to do, though?
Well, this is the thing. That particular group has the culture as well. And that particular culture is not going to support, and they're going to try to turn him down because they're upset, because we put them on blast. And they got people like us talking about, yeah, they in there twerking. See, if it was me, I would have had a twerking Tuesday, where you come on Tuesday, you twerk, you get a free entree.
Hey,
Work for a meal, huh? We want people to treat us a certain way, but we don't carry ourselves in a way that deserves that treatment. She brings up a great point, and I'm like, do we teach people how to treat us?
No, we generally kind of take what they give us.
Because my understanding, people will do something, but they're really testing you. But your reaction is teaching them how to treat you. Because if you react in a certain way, you say what you will or won't accept. And I think, like John said, I think he had put up with it enough, and people thought, oh, this is what we do here. And then all of a sudden, now I got to bring the hammer down to let y'all know, because his mama was in there. I bet you his mama was in there. Melissa says, I agree. It's on the management. When I went, I got club vibes. So she's been there. He was very professional with his reaction. He was unprofessional. He should have addressed the 3% and not the entire place. Anthony says, don't throw the baby out with the bathwater. He should have just removed the people that were causing the problem. Yeah. I don't know. Should he have removed the people or just kind of dealt with it for that time and say, okay, not from this point forward, this ain't what we having?
Well, you can't if you remove.
But he went 3 times.
There you go, Kevin. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say if he asked him 3 times. So, like, how many chances do you have to give somebody to do what's right? Because you know when you go to places what you should do and what you shouldn't do. So when I say as an owner, hey, we're not doing that here, and you continue to do it, then get rid of him.
All right. So Melissa says Dolce and Patron served from the bottle doesn't read upscale to me. So it sounds like the brother's practices were conducive to what he was getting. So he wanted something different, didn't know how to get it.
Well, at first, then you want business. At first, you just want butts and seats. And as you get butts and seats, and they coming regularly, now you saying, you start. There you go, Kevin. Go ahead. These ain't the butts and seats I wanted. But at first, you just want butts and seats. And after a while, the butts and seats do like this.
All right. So Danny says white business. Danny says white business decide who they want in their establishments. No athletic wear, but a white person is sitting there in athletic wear. Choices. Right. So,
but I think though, Derek, but I think that the average white business owner can afford to be that way. A black business owner can't afford to be that way.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? Because it goes back to what John said. Because when you start now, most of the times you don't have the capital to be selective. You know what I'm saying? You have enough capital to get right to be up and running for a short period of time before you start putting people in those seats. And so to get those people in those seats, you do whatever you got to do, and then you try to scale it back a little bit to go whichever way. But you don't cuss people out though.
All right. So Trish says there is a restaurant that I frequent that is Black owned. Please do not reveal the name. And everyone has respect for one another, customers and staff. The atmosphere is great. And the reason why is because the tone is set before you enter. So going in, you know what the expectation is. Now, I want to just point out real quick. She said she don't even want the name put out there because she don't want too many plus. All right. But I mean, think about that. Think about that. She has to protect the restaurant from us by not revealing the name. What does that say about us as consumers?
You can't say it about all of us, man. It's a lot of us that are great consumers. It's just unfortunately okay. For example, Nate, I bet you deal with all type of business people. So do you allow the percentage of people that you do business with that are bad? Do you allow that to taint the whole thing? Because I'm sure you got a story about somebody that was bad.
Right. Yeah. I think it goes back to like kind of what Latricia was saying. I think you just got to set the standard. So no matter who you got, good, bad, clients, you're going to have quite a few, variations. Obviously, one more good than bad. But as long as you got standards, as long as you got protocols, things that when you do get tried by those kind of folks or clients or have those kind of conflicts, you got things in place where you're saying, hey, we don't tolerate that, or hey, this is what it is going to be as far as price or whatever, it comes up to, that you got certain procedures in place that you can deal with that stuff. And then it kind of almost take care of itself. The environment set, the policy set, and then it kind of filters out almost those bad clients, because then they'll either move on, and find somebody else for whatever product or service they're looking for. But you got to definitely set the tone. You got to definitely have standards. You got to definitely have the right people working for you that believes in the vision, the culture. So, all those play a part in the entity itself as a whole, especially when you're dealing with clients. You got to have great customer service too as well.
So how you deal with us? How you deal with us?
Well, like I said, I deal with multiple clients, so it doesn't matter if it's Black people, white people, it doesn't matter. I mean, I look at it like money's money. I offer a service, people need my service. Then obviously, no matter if I get conflict from, Black people, white people, at the end of the day, it's just how I deal with it is really what's going to, dictate the outcome of it. So, if they feel like, they want it for this price instead of this price, I have standards, I have certain prices on things, and, it's not really no room for negotiation. So, it minimizes the conflict, and obviously they got, other options they can choose. So, just putting that process and that framework into place, and especially the business I have, or if you're using it in any business, as long as you have a great framework in place and don't deviate from that quality of work that you do, it doesn't matter, who comes at you or what they do. That framework will protect the quality of your service. So
protecting the quality. So Melissa, she says, keeping it 100. By the time the food came out, I was tipsy and dancing in my seat. The music was super loud. Thank goodness I don't know how to twerk. So she said the only thing that stopped her was she didn't know how to twerk.
Yeah. So, and one thing as a business owner, I would definitely say that is that you got to really pay attention to your clients, especially their needs and feedback and quality. So if quality of the food is an issue, if customer service is an issue, they need to address those needs. So that way, you won't have these issues moving forward too, as well, so.
Go ahead, Kevin. You got something?
Got something. But not only that, though, think about this, though, because like he spoke as if that he was providing a upscale service, right? And to me, service is not just your food tastes good. Your service is when you order, your food don't take 30 to 40 minutes to come out. Because the thing like she just touched on, if I know people are sitting there sipping on mimosas, because that's what people normally drink for breakfast or brunch or whatever, then the chance of people getting a little bit tipsy going to increase. So the thing is, you have to be aware of that whole big scenario that now you are creating because you are lacking in another department of your business.
So there's a threshold. There's a threshold. I better get this food out before these people get too tipsy, because who knows who they turn into when they're liquor right? Anthony says, bring the party. All right. So you want to get Anthony's food out pretty fast. So you're gonna have time to turn up. All right. But I want to ask the people, all right. The people out there, you listening, you heard what we said about, you know what I'm saying? The guy made a mistake. Clearly he made a mistake, right? But would you still support him? Would you still support this guy?
Absolutely.
They said he would. Trish says,
I mean,
all right, so going back to Kevin's point, Trish said, I disagree, Kevin. If the standard is set and you do not compromise integrity, then everything else falls in place. Does it just fall in place?
Well, you can
no, you wanted to. You wanted to.
So you have a perception, then you have the actual. So it's the actual and the perception. How do you make those things line up? How do you do, Nate? How do you make the actual and the perception line up?
Yeah, and again, I think that goes back to internally planning, getting feedback from your customers. You got to take all these different components, looking at your staff, looking at the quality of food, looking at the timeliness of the food.
Hold on. I don't mean to cut you off. Nate, do we know how to actually do that?
I think we do. I just think that we have to do it. It's a choice. Like, if you hear so many complaints and that is the common denominator, that if food is not timeliness and things of that sort, then it could be easily addressed. So maybe you just need more staff. Maybe you need more chefs back here in the kitchen. Like, if that's the common denominator, that if there's lack of timeliness of the food, then you need to address those issues. But sometimes maybe owners want that so you can keep drinking and make more money off of liquor. You just don't know what the rationale is behind it from their perspective. So we just see it from a consumer perspective, but from a monetary perspective, maybe that's the rationale for keep doing it the way it is. But at the end of the day, it's the clients, the consumers that obviously will keep on coming back and driving your bottom line. And you need to address that based upon feedback from your clients, so.
And if you making them drinks that's going to put you down, you need to change that.
Right.
If you have drinks that's going to have you turned all the way up,
right.
Well, you need whoa.
Yeah, and I think it needs to be a good balance. You got to have a good balance of food, because obviously when you go out to eat, one of the biggest things is you're hungry. That's the reason you're going out to eat, and you want your food as quick, fast, and in a hurry. But also, they want to build in time, obviously, for cocktails and things of that sort I mentioned.
All right. So Cheryl says, could it be that he was a club, but because of COVID-19 regulations, he had to operate as a restaurant to stay relevant or in business?
It could be, but he said, listen, I wanted to open up something for you guys to where we can come and where we can have a nice time, where we get in here and basically have an upscale restaurant for you guys, because we didn't have nothing like that. That's what he said. Now, I only can go by what he said.
Okay. Now, so he said, I was trying to create something for the culture.
Well, he didn't specify what culture.
Because clearly all blacks are not of one culture. There are subcultures under the black umbrella. Should he have been more specific?
Right.
Yeah.
That touches on the demographics that you're looking at. Right, D?
Absolutely.
Right? Because he had to go out at certain demographics, and he didn't do that.
So Danny says, I've experienced this as GM at Joe's Crab Shack in Cedar Hill with black customers partying too hard. Once I visited the table to calm them down. It's not what you say, it's how you say it. No cussing.
Just let me say this. Have y'all seen Danny Osborne? Danny Osborne look like a truck. Like this.
Yeah.
So anybody's gonna get Danny no issue. Anybody's gonna get Danny no problem. Danny, you stop that. You stop that, Danny.
Danny deep on the table, huh? You deep on the table. My restaurant punk. All right. All right. So Anthony said, as a restaurant manager, you have to know your guests. Also, you've got to know your food. He might have to dumb down his menu on a brunch menu.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yep.
So there are a whole bunch of factors that he should have considered, from the food choices to the music choices to the volume of the music to the whole nine. I mean, wow. The word is,
believe it or not,
it's the ratchet. She said the word is sophisticated, right? So you got sophisticated people, but in the right environment, they're gonna tell you who they are, right? Okay. Melissa said, I will give it another opportunity. The food was good. I just don't consider it upscale. Wow.
How was the pricing? Is the pricing affordable?
Right.
Expensive? What's the pricing like? Because that'll tell me whether or not it's upscale. Because if the price is really expensive, I'm gonna be looking at you like, whoa. Now we don't. Remember the place we went to, D, where we smoked cigars afterwards? That place, it wasn't upscale, but it was really, really nice. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah. But the atmosphere is set by, I mean, a whole bunch of different factors. Maybe he wasn't considering all the factors of the atmosphere he say he wanted.
Well, I think what. Go ahead, Rich.
Reginald Love says, what age group is he attracting? Right? What age group? Do we have 40-year-olds twerking?
It's a bad look, though. It's a bad look. That thing be slow and dragging. No.
You don't want that.
No. Everything moving. No.
All right. So Mika says, I would absolutely still support. I think he made a mistake and learned from it. I'm willing to bet he is working with a team about marketing and the image he wants. The girl was wrong for being on the furniture, but people missed that due to the way he addressed the client. So his wrong, her wrong, people dismissed it.
But the reason why people missed her is because he made himself the problem. If he had just addressed her, then the problem stays right there. But anytime you put yourself in it, you the owner. Hey, we got to give up pass for being less than smart, but we can't give you one for that.
Mm-hmm. The word is sophisticated. I think I said before, have somebody who once they come to the table, they're coming to correct some things. Have a security or somebody to say. And if he had come over and say, listen, I need y'all to leave, I will comp y'all meals, but I just need to, you know what I'm saying? You don't think it would have.
Wait. And we just gonna get up and leave. What planet black women? Black women on that you gonna come to their table and tell them to leave because you got a problem with them, and they gonna do it? They gonna shut that place down. So
John, you saying the problem is black women?
I didn't really say that. I'm just saying.
All right. Let's say my lamb chop was $25 for 4 chops. $25 for 4 chops for lamb.
That's not upscale.
It's not bad. Lamb chops, so
That's not upscale.
$25 for 5 lamb chops and sides are a la carte. So is he pricing himself out?
He's not, because people buying it. People,
Hold on.
you know, that's one thing about black. That's what black people would spend some money. We would spend some money. We would spend some.
Right.
We would spend some money. We will support you.
Let me say this, right? Support for black businesses had reached a whole nother level with George Floyd, and Breonna Taylor, and the whole nine.
Now,
A whole nother level. But what happens, because that doesn't last long. So what happens if people are not spending money because you black? They spend the money based on the actual quality of what you're presenting. Kevin, look like you got something.
You know what? To me, his biggest mistake is trying to cater to one group of people. Because when black people come in and they spend $35, now you can go right up the street and spend $50 for the exact same thing we have here, right? But they would complain tooth and nail. So I think for every 50 people you have that's good, you got 50 that's bad. That's complaining about everything. They want stuff for the low. They want stuff that's man. I've been cussed out over $7. You know what I'm saying? I wanted to cuss it back. Yeah, I did. I mean, real talk.
So no,
so to me, his biggest mistake is trying to get it to.
That's a great point, Nate. How do you feel we do, like black people? Do we understand value really?
Yeah, I think value is a very big thing in business. You got to really understand where, you're providing whatnot to the client, specifically what you bring to the table and what the client expects for out of you, whatnot. So that way it's a win-win, relationship. So, but I definitely think you got to understand when you're buying a product or a service, you got to have some kind of standard or whatnot that you expect that who the person you're buying it from or the business you're buying it from, but as well, the individual or the company that's providing that good or that services need to have also a standard too, to be able to provide it with excellence and to meet all your expectations too as well.
Now, are we expecting, so we'll go and pay more at the white establishment for the same thing, but we pay less but at the black establishment, and we complain. Why?
But D, this the thing. That's our way of when you with a black establishment, you want to feel like you ate something and they gave you more than what you were supposed to get. That's your way of calling L hookup, as you people in America say. They want the L hookup. and so when you go across the street, you'll drop money for less. Me and Cheryl had went to this restaurant and they gave me a head of lettuce out there and charged me like $40-some. And I was about to turn the plate up. And Cheryl was like, "No, baby, no, that's what this is." That's how I'm like, "No, because if we had been in the black establishment, man, we ain't doing that because we want to hook up."
Yeah, I think it's a mindset. Go ahead.
No,
I think it's a mindset. Like you say, it just no matter if you're black, white, or whatever establishment you have, as long as you set the standard of this is what I bring and I know my quality, I know my worth, then no matter if they're black or white, it's just you're gonna have to pay the cost of doing business, So, but I just think you got to clearly set those standards and be straight up front. So
let me get Tarsha. Latarsha says, "I've never been, but I will support. His actions were wrong, but he is trying to protect his investment, and I support that." Do you have to be a business owner to really understand where he comes from?
I think you do. It's hard for you to drive. It's hard for you to understand the intricacies of a Maserati sports car, and you never actually sat in the seat and driven one. I can't expect you to know what the bells and whistles. I can't expect you to know some of the intricate things about it if you've never been in that seat before, man.
You know what? The concept of the baker's dozen, we always talk about doing for the culture and all that type of stuff. It's the reason why other cultures prosper above black people. The baker's dozen was, I do extra for my brother. I'm not expecting something for nothing, but I'm going to do more for what I got because of where it's going. The whole concept of the baker's dozen, the 13 instead of 12, that's where it comes from. Jewish people, who are the most prosperous people that we know, they do more for the people that's a part of their culture.
What if she was trying to be a twerking blessing?
You said a twerking blessing.
Melissa says, I'm sorry, but I blame the alcohol for her behavior. What was his excuse? He said, what was his excuse? I had ordered 2 Patron bottles. Wow. And they were gone before the food arrived. Them drinks on point. I heard. He said, I heard. Right. So Cheryl says, why is it so important to make it known as a Black business? I get supporting the business, but what motivated you to go into business in the first place? Wow. That's a serious question. Sabrina says, no, I don't think you have to be a business owner. Think about your house. You don't want people acting a fool in your house, right? So you let people know.
I got kids though.
You let people know at the door. Hey, I ain't having the foolishness up in my house. Maybe he's still good at the door and say, oh, I'm watching you. I'm watching. All right, guys. Final thoughts. So, Mr. Nate, what you want to lead the people?
Yeah, I just lead the people, of course, just be mindful, if you have a business, be mindful of your quality, your product, be excellent at what you do. Definitely know your client, be professional. And the same thing as, of course, consumers and whatnot, just be mindful too of the business establishment you're going to. And, that way it just creates a good and, healthy atmosphere and whatnot, either way it goes. But definitely, I think all businesses probably are learning from this. You don't have to be in the food industry to learn that customer service is a big part. So just like I say, just know your clients.
Mr. Kevin.
Okay, well, if I had to wrap it up, I would say, if anyone's thinking about being a business owner right now, would be a good time. But I think that if you are not a people person, because if you try to sell any type of product to anybody, you're going to hear more opinions than you can shake a stick to. I mean, from good to bad, but most of the opinion you hear is going to be what you can do to improve, what you do to do better. So I think that you really have to decide and just pray about it. Am I doing the right thing by opening this business? Because when you open those doors, people think that you open those doors for their opinions because they're spending money. So they feel like that you should listen to whatever they have to say, no matter what that is, and however they want to act.
Amen. I just want to say that there's a culture for everybody. Listen, if he don't want your twerking money, girl, there's somebody that will get your money. It is somewhere and a place for everybody. We just need to be better about finding the place that wants to take your money. I'm not going to blame him because there's another type of culture he's trying to get to. But there is a restaurant for you. It's a restaurant that's waiting for you to stand on that table, get the hook in your back, and break it all the way down, and will gladly take your money. We just got to find what the cultures are. Find your culture, and when you go to that place, spend some money. And I'm out.
There's a proverb that Solomon came up with. He said, where there is no ox, the house is swept clean, but much gain comes by the strength of the ox. And what Solomon was saying was, listen, if you don't want no trouble, don't accept responsibility. But if you do want something out of life, just understand that there are things that are going to come with it. It's just part of the process. You have to understand that what goes with the territory and have your mindset that I'm going to have to put up with some things in order to see what I want to see. So there are 5 people that you need in your life. 5 people you plan to be successful. 5 people that you need. You need a mentor. You need a coach. You need a peer, a cheerleader, and a friend, right? You need a mentor, somebody with experience that's done it before, that can give you insight to where you're going. You need a coach, somebody who will push you because they see what's inside of you, right? You will rest and you want to quit, but that person will keep pushing you just like a coach will. So you need a coach. You also need a peer. The peer is somebody who's at the same level you are. They're going through the same struggles you are, and somebody you can bounce ideas off of and just vent your frustrations to, and they know exactly where you're coming from, right? Then you need a cheerleader. The cheerleader is that person who's going to always encourage you. They're going to always lift you up. And when you're going through these processes, you're going to have your ups, you're going to have your downs. So you need somebody who will speak positive into your life, right? And then you need a friend. Just somebody who's completely unassociated with what you're doing, because you just need a break from it all. And somebody just to share life with. This is the 5 keys to your success. Find those 5 people. You'll see things change, but by all means, just understand it goes with the territory. If you want more, to whom much is given, much is required. Don't be discouraged. Go for more. Do more. But be willing to accept the responsibility. And that's King Speak for this week. There we have it, ladies and gentlemen.
That's good stuff, man.
Ladies and gentlemen. You know what? Danny said, thanks, brothers. Great topic. Have a great evening. So then it said, every place is not for everybody. Know before you go and govern yourself accordingly, right? You research, do your research. But it's almost as like there needs to be a forum where business people can talk about this type of stuff, so somebody can avoid this. I almost want to just do a Zoom call or something on Saturday morning, just invite business people to just talk. Tell people what you've been going through so somebody can learn and not make the same mistakes. I don't know. Y'all let me know how y'all feel. If y'all want to do that, let's do that. We can talk about it, right? I got 2 smart guys right here. We can invite some more, and it's just an open forum where we talk. Yes, they smart, John. Oh, I got 3 smart guys. All right, my bad. I just realized what you're saying. Hey, y'all, we appreciate y'all. Thank y'all for joining. Thank you for the comments. Thank you for participating in the conversation. We're here Monday nights, 7 o'clock. Man Talk Mondays. Mickey says, love your platform, brother. Keep pushing. I got you, Big Mick. That's my homeboy. We love y'all. We appreciate y'all. We'll see y'all next week. Man Talk Mondays.